Hello friends, it's me, Mr. Peterson. How are you? Hey, remember when we talked about habitat? You even sketched the habitat of a frog. Remember that a few weeks ago? Well, today, friends, we're looking at habitat and we're trying to figure out how you can tell what an animal eats for its food. In a habitat, every animal needs food, water, shelter, and things like air and space to move around. Well, today we're going to take a look at how you can look at a part of a bird's body called the beak and try to figure out what it eats. So let's take a look at different birds and their beaks. Did you know I like to watch birds? I'm going to do a little bird watching and figure out what birds eat by looking at their beaks. Look, there's a duck. It's a duck called a green-winged teal. You can tell by its field marks. Look at its beak. By looking at that rounded beak on this teal, you can tell it's a plant eater. It looks like it probably eats plants off the surface or just under the water of a pond. It's a green-winged teal and it has a rounded beak. Good for scooping up plants on the surface of a pond. It's just plastic. It's not a real duck. I'm gonna go look for some real birds though. All right, cool. You know, the best time to really look for birds with binoculars or just with your two eyes is in the mornings and in the evenings, the late afternoons, just before dark. That's when birds and other types of wildlife are most active. So I'm looking around right now to see what I might find out here behind my house. Hey, another good place to look for birds is at a bird feeder. Many birds that eat seeds will come to a feeder. And we'll talk about feeder birds later on as we do Project Feeder Watch. Shh, I'm looking for birds. Where are they? I'm looking and looking. I'm listening too. Oh yeah, I see those birds down there. Do you see those birds swimming in the pond? Those are mallard ducks. I'm going to see how close I can get. I think they're going to fly really quick. I knew I couldn't get very close to them. Those are wild mallards. They're not like mallards that hang out in a park looking for handouts. These are wild birds that land in this pond during migration. They flew as soon as they saw me. Mallard ducks. Take a look. I wonder what they eat. The mallard's our most common duck. It has a flattened, rounded beak that's good for eating water plants and sometimes a few insects out of the water. Wow, it's a great blue heron. They like to use their long pointed beaks to eat fish, frogs, and other small animals they find in the water. Wow, look up. There's a red-tailed hawk soaring overhead, probably looking for mice or rabbits or other small animals to eat. Look at that sharp hooked beak. Good for ripping up meat and swallowing it. Whoa, there are so many different kinds of birds you can see. Just in Michigan, there are over 300 species of birds that you could see. It is amazing to get out and try to find as many birds as you can. You're going to learn the names of a lot of these birds and their field marks and how to identify them and how to look at their beaks and tell what they eat. It's fun. Get out in the great outdoors, friends, and enjoy birds. Oh, look at the little black-capped chickadee. They like to eat small insects and smaller seeds and even spiders with their little tiny beak. Do you know this beautiful red bird? This is the male northern cardinal. It's looking for larger seeds to crack open with that great big beak up by my feeder. Cool. In the summertime, I saw a lot of American robins in my yard. They were trying to pull out worms out of the ground with their beaks, and they also eat berries. Did you know the American robin is the state bird of Michigan? Another bird I saw this summer was a ruby-throated hummingbird. They like to sip nectar out of flowers. If you think about it, their beak is kind of like a little pointed straw. Amazing. Wow, that was fun looking at birds in their habitats, places where they find food, water, and shelter, everything they need to survive. We're focusing today on food and on looking at a bird and trying to figure out what it eats based on its beak or its mouth. So friends, for the seesaw assignment, match up the bird in its beak to the food that it eats. I know you can do this, and you can do a great job.